Donald Trump does not hold office. He does not control Congress. He does not run the White House. And yet, every morning, newsrooms still wake up asking the same question. Not because they want to, because they have to. This is the story of how one man learned to dominate the modern news system and why no institution has figured out how to take that power back. In theory, Trump should be fading. No official power, no daily briefings, no executive authority. And yet, he still leads the conversation. That contradiction reveals something uncomfortable. Trump isn't dominating politics, he's dominating attention. There was a time when the news followed offices, the presidency, Congress, the courts. That era ended. Today, news follows emotion, conflict, reaction, engagement. Trump understands this better than anyone. He doesn't chase relevance, he creates gravity. Media tried everything: overexposure, underexposure, fact-checking, silence. None of it worked. Because Trump isn't dependent on coverage, coverage is dependent on Trump. That's the reversal no one planned for. News used to inform, now it reacts. Trump doesn't give information, he gives stimuli, statements that provoke, pauses that trigger speculation, hints that demand interpretation. The news fills in the blanks. That keeps him centered without him speaking. Here's how the loop works. Trump says something incomplete. Media reacts. Opponents respond. Supporters defend. Experts analyze. Trump watches. Then he says nothing. That silence resets the cycle. The loop restarts without him lifting a finger. Trump doesn't need approval. He needs presence. Criticism keeps him visible. Outrage keeps him central. Debunking keeps him relevant. Every segment framed against Trump is still a segment about Trump. That's dominance. News organizations are trapped by incentives, clicks, ratings, shares, engagement. Trump delivers all four. Ignoring him feels responsible, but it's expensive, so the coverage continues, often reluctantly. Media believes it frames Trump. In reality, Trump frames the media. He decides when to speak, when to stay silent, when to provoke. The news follows his timing, not the other way around. Other leaders need events. Trump turns absence into an event. Other leaders react to coverage. Trump lets coverage react to him. That asymmetry is why he dominates. Supporters see strength. Opponents see manipulation. Journalists see frustration. But everyone sees the same thing. Trump hasn't lost relevance. He's outgrown the rules. Before Trump, news led politics. After Trump, politics follows attention. Trump mastered attention. Trump didn't dominate the news by accident. He studied it, tested it, exploited it. The news cycle is no longer neutral. Modern news is not a mirror, it's a machine. It rewards speed over depth, reaction over context, conflict over clarity. Trump didn't break this machine. He learned to drive it. Trump rarely releases information randomly. He chooses moments, when attention is low, when another story is peaking, when silence feels uncomfortable. A short statement at the right moment can outweigh a major policy speech at the wrong one. Trump understands timing better than substance. Trump often says just enough, not enough to explain, not enough to ignore. That forces interpretation, and interpretation is where news multiplies. Panels debate, experts speculate, rivals respond. Trump doesn't need airtime, others create it for him. The moment Trump speaks, someone feels obligated to respond. A politician, a journalist, a critic. That response becomes the story. Trump doesn't need to defend himself. He lets others argue around him. Outrage doesn't shorten a story, it extends it. Each rebuttal restarts the cycle. Each correction creates another headline. Each emotional reaction fuels engagement. Trump thrives in extended cycles. Fact-checking adds credibility, but it also adds oxygen. A claim plus a correction is still two segments. Trump isn't threatened by scrutiny. Scrutiny keeps him central. The most powerful moment is when Trump says nothing. Newsrooms wait. Analysts speculate. Opponents fill airtime. Silence becomes suspense. Suspense becomes coverage. Trump has trained the media to expect reaction. When it doesn't come, uncertainty fills the gap. That uncertainty feels urgent. Urgency creates clicks. Trump speaks, the media reacts, opponents respond. Trump pauses, the cycle restarts. Not because Trump forces it, because the system demands it. Journalists know what's happening. They know they're reinforcing the cycle. But stepping away feels surrendering relevance. Trump didn't capture the news, he made it dependent. Trump doesn't dominate the news because of popularity. He dominates it because the system rewards his behavior. After Trump left office, the system attempted a reset. New faces, new leaders, new narratives. The goal was simple: make Trump obsolete. It didn't work. Not because replacements were weak, but because the environment had changed. Many politicians seek coverage. Trump attracts it. That difference matters. Others need events. Trump turns moments into events. Other leaders depend on messaging. Trump creates reaction. The system responds to stimulus, not credentials. Some thought style could replace him. It couldn't. Charisma fades, outrage cycles end, trends burn out. Trump persists because he's integrated into the system itself. He isn't a guest, he's a variable. Modern news competes with everything: streaming, social media, endless content. Trump cuts through noise. He's familiar, predictable, emotionally charged. That makes him reliable. Reliability equals revenue. Even critics depend on Trump. Their analysis, their commentary, their engagement. Removing Trump removes demand. The system won't admit this, but it operates accordingly. You can't manufacture organic controversy. Trump's relationship with the media was built over years of conflict. It can't be replicated on command. It can only be inherited. And no one has. Trump has become symbolic. He represents resistance, disruption, reaction, identity. Symbols outlast individuals. They persist through absence. Immigration, elections, the courts, the economy. Stories reference Trump even when he's not involved. That's symbolic dominance. Not publicly, not directly, but in behavior. Trump is still centered, still referenced, still debated. That is admission. People don't choose to focus on Trump. The system guides them there. That's not persuasion, that's structure. At some point, dominance crosses a line. It stops being influence and becomes dependency. That's where American media is now. Trump is no longer just covered. He is built into the workflow. Journalists don't like dependency. It suggests loss of control, loss of independence, loss of authority. But behavior reveals truth, and behavior shows this. When Trump speaks, coverage adjusts. When Trump pauses, speculation fills airtime. That's reliance. Editors don't ask, "Is this important?" They ask, "How does Trump connect to this?" That question reshapes priorities. Stories bend,
Angles shift, context narrows. Trump doesn't need to call the newsroom, he already lives there. Complex stories lose ground. Policy, infrastructure, long-term issues. They struggle to compete with reaction-driven narratives. Trump stories are immediate, emotional, predictable. That predictability feels safe in an unstable media economy. Even unrelated issues get framed through Trump, not because it's accurate, because it's familiar. Familiarity lowers friction. Friction kills engagement. The system chooses familiarity. Constant reaction leaves little room for reflection. Stories blur, nuance disappears, positions harden. Trump thrives in that environment. It rewards simplicity over explanation. You can't reset